everybody, it's Christina from Card Making Magic. This is the little card that I'm going to make today, and what I've used is sketchy elephants from Whimsy stamps. So I'm going to use the big elephant there and the sentiment at the bottom. Now these stamps have a matching die set that you can buy separately, and I'm going to use the elephant die that goes with the stamp. Now I've also used Rainy Day from Spellbinders, and this one is called Grass and Flowers, and the one that I'm going to use is this part from the die set. And to create my hills I'm going to use Curved Borders 1. Now this is the die, this is the one that has the cutting edge on it that will create the hills for me. It's also got a little stitch detail along the edge as well, so I'm going to be using that. So I've got myself a top folded card which is an A2 size, and I've cut myself a smaller panel that's going to sit on the front. I've created some clouds from the little Rainy Day set, and I've also cut one of the flower borders from the Grass and Flowers set, and I'm going to colour these flowers in with Spectrum Noirs. Now I've also got another piece of card from which I'm going to cut the hill shapes. So all I'm using is this border die, and I'm going to place it on my card and cut my hills. But as I cut one first, I'm going to move the die so that it's in a different direction to give me 3 different shaped hills. So once I've got my hills cut and they're in the shape that I want them to be, I've just positioned them on my card because I want this one in the distance to be pale green, this is going to be the middle green, this will be the dark green. So I've picked my pens up and I'm going to colour them as I've just said. So I'll start with the one at the front, which is going to be the dark green. So I'm taking my Spectrum Noir pens and I'm just going to add my colour all over my card, and I'm going to do exactly the same with all of these cards using the colours that I've just told you. So I've got my panels coloured, I'm going to add them to my card that's the layer. So I'm going to put the palest green one at the back, and then I'm going to add the middle green one coming towards the front, and the darkest green one will go there. So I'm going to add this one in with foam pads. So once I've got my hills fastened to my base, I'm just going to add this layer to my base card, and then I've added some little foam pads to the back of the flower border, and that's going to sit along the bottom. And then at the top of the card I'm just going to pop in some clouds, and then we'll do the elephant. So to stamp my elephant I'm going to use the Misty, and this is the most incredible stamping tool invented, and it's got the black pad which I'm keeping inside it. I'm making sure that my watercolour card is in the corner, and I'm going to pop my elephant along there and make sure that he's in place. Pick it up with the lid, and then all I'm going to do is stamp that up, ink that up with some VersaFine, and I'm going to stamp the elephant onto my card. There he is, ready to be watercoloured. This is a watercolour card. So we can take the elephant off now, move the Misty out of the way, and now we'll watercolour the elephant. So once I've got my image stamped, I'm just going to take some clean water and I'm just going to wet some of the areas that I want to colour. Now I've put some black paint into my palette and I've watered it down, and of course because I've wet the area it's going to be even more watered down. So I'm just putting some colour in along each side of the ears. And then I'm going to leave that and let that dry. And then we'll put some colour into the face, just the face, nothing else, not the body, not the ears, just the face. And again we'll take up some of the water and we'll just plop it into the elephant. Now I'm going to dry my brush off because what I want to do now is just spread this colour around. And I'm going to spread this over the ears, dry my brush again, and then take some clean water and just go over the edges so that there's no harsh lines there. And we'll just add a little bit of black, which is very, very watered, down into the elephant's trunk. So that basically is the first layer. So now I'm going to come down into the body and wet my elephant's body. And then go in with some of the black, the watered black ink. Now it's just a little bit too wet, so I'm just going to take some off on my towel. Just bringing some down to where there would be shadow on the elephant's legs. Now I'm going to take the heat gun and I'm just going to dry that first layer off. So now that that layer is dry, I'm coming in with some dark black again, but it's still watered down, so it's not very black. And I'm just going to bring the shadow in from each end of the ear and where the head would be sort of shading that ear. And we'll just take some water now and we'll just spread out those harsh lines. And then we'll leave that again just to dry. So now we can come down to, the body, and again we'll just add in a little bit of water. So we're just going to put in some shadows now. So there would be some under the head and the trunk and down the side of the body. So if you take your time when you're doing your painting and just enjoy it and don't stress about it, you will enjoy the process, because I am not an artist. So I'm just going to clean my brush off there, and with some clean water now I'm just going to blend out these harsh edges. Now we can leave that and let that dry. We'll just put a little bit of shadow into this arm over here. And now that the ears are dry, we'll come back into the face. So if we've got shadow down this side of the body, then obviously we're going to have shadow down that side of the face. So we'll just put the shadow in. Coming down there, and we'll put some of the shadow along the bottom of the trunk and in the ridges on the trunk. So I'm just going to clean my brush now, and with some clean water I'm just going to blend out those colours. Okay. we'll leave that to dry a little bit. And what we'll do now is, while the face is drying, I'm just going to put some pink into the flower. So I'm just coming into the centre of the flower, and then I'm going to use some clean water just to spread that colour out to the end of the petals. Okay, now again with the same pink, I'm watering it down, and I'm going to come into one of the ears. So we'll take the shadow up there to the top and down the side. Clean my brush, and with some clean water now I'm just going to spread out that colour. So as you get towards the edge there, it thins it out, it sort of fades it out a little bit more. And now that this is dry, I'm going to do the same in this ear. So again, clean my brush, and with some clear water now I'm just going to spread that colour out. Now I'm also going to do the same. Once the face is dry, I'm going to put some little pink highlights onto the cheeks. So we'll just spread that out. So I've added just a little bit more pink into the ears to give some shading, and I'm just going to finish off now with some little pink toenails. And I think we'll just darken the centre of that flower. And I think that looks fine as it is now. I'm not going to do anything else to it. I'm just going to leave that now and let it dry. So once you've coloured your elephant and she's dry, you can either fussy cut that out with your scissors, or you can use the die if you have the dies that go with it. Tape it in place and run that through your die cutting machine. So I've stamped and die cut a sentiment, so I'm just going around the edges just to blue that up a little bit, and I've gone around the edges of the clouds as well. So we've got a foam pad on the back, and I'm just going to add that to the top of the clouds, and then with some foam behind the elephant, just going to add her to the card. So we'll stand her along there, press her in place, and that's the card finished. And I know it's different to the other elephant, this one was a lot darker, but there you've got a couple of pretty cards for someone's birthday. So swap out the sentiment and you've got a little card there that you can make for any occasion. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give it the thumbs up, and why not subscribe to my channel so that you never miss a video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.